Good evening and Sharodiya greetings from Kolkata, India. As we celebrate Durga Puja and Navaratri, I thank Asian and Oceanic Society of Regional Anesthesia and Pain Medicine for giving me this opportunity. Let me begin by taking you back in time to 15th of March 2020, a day in the life of Shoikat Sengupta. I am excited. The first patient that I have on my list is somebody undergoing robotic assisted right adrenalectomy for pheochromocytoma. I am worried. Yes, I'm worried about the patient's hemodynamics. As I change to my scrub suits and I reach the operating room, my mind is occupied with the safety of the patient and the quality of care that I can provide with my team for the planned procedure. Let me now fast forward you to the month of October, 15th of March, yet another day in the life of Shoikat Sengupta. I have been entrusted to take care of a person who has to undergo a major head and neck reconstructive surgery. She has ischemic heart disease and obstructive lung disease. On this day, I am excited about the clinical challenge, but I am apprehensive as well. I am more worried than what I was 7 months back. I worry today not only about her, but about the team and about myself. That's what has changed. That's how it is today. Possibly, that's how it is going to be for the days to come. I think not just about the quality and safety of my patient, but about me and my team. I have always been a sports enthusiast. To me, sports is philosophy. Analogy from the world of sports has helped me solve my personal problems, and I use the same technique to demystify situations and scenarios when I teach and train. As the pandemic set upon us, I had to devise a way to deal with it. I turned towards sports to provide me with clues on how to manage it. I looked upon to my sporting hero of my childhood, Mr. Sunil Gavaskar, to provide me with an inspiration to tackle the challenges that were thrown upon me. I grew up dreaming of being Sunil Gavaskar. Sunny remains to me as my mentor as I navigate my way through this COVID-19 pandemic. SARS-CoV-2 is possibly the best bowling attack the world has ever seen. Ferocious, menacing, full of guile. The attack is potent, whatever be the conditions, striking in various ways. It floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee. It is perpetually trying to sneak in through the unguarded, unmasked eye, mouth, and nose. COVID came and hit the world while it was having a big party, cherishing the thrills of instant gratification, the lure of the shorter versions of the game. Humanity's guard was down, the checks and balances in public health and care were found inadequate, as were the defenses. We need to understand that it takes just one ball to fail. This demands fierce focus and intense concentration. It is a tough test of character. Be vigilant during the breaks as well. The beverage area, the lunchroom are potential minefield where the virus is waiting for the unaware top edge to be caught. The end game in anesthesia is extubation, full of twists and turns, and the unexpected. It needs skill to keep the patient safe during the process, as well as keeping myself safe from a volley of virus-laden droplets coming into my face. Sports in general, cricket in particular, especially batting, is about the mind-body tangible. Effective management of the COVID pandemic also rests on good planning. Most great sportsmen would always tell you that you are as good as your team is. I need to ensure that my colleagues, my nursing staff, my operating room technicians know what their role is. Are they equipped to face this challenge? How is my team feeling? What are their thoughts? How is their morale? What are their fears? Colleagues were, yes, anxious. Some were scared. We had to ensure that they were not overcome by them. We had to prepare them as sports people, itching for that challenge. There was this additional problem of COVID conquering the mind through the awake and even sleeping hours. Even when out of the scrub suits, outside the clinical environment, we realized as a team we needed to have mechanisms to cope. The strategy to tackle a pandemic is similar to winning a tournament, a championship, not just a game. It is not about the hooray of getting through one high-risk procedure with aplomb. It is about doing the routine things correctly. The fine print perfectly worked out. Sports teaches you that you perform best when you practice most. Repeated training ensures that you hit the right ball in just the desired way. The essence of training and simulated drills is crucial in handling this pandemic. It needs to get into our muscle memory. If you think right, you do the right thing. However, it must come to a point where you do the right thing even without thinking about it. We need to get into that zone where you can trust yourself to be correct always. Skills win battles. Temperament wins the war. In our lives, our temperament is being put to test by this pandemic. We need to be aware that there will be higher levels of stress, insomnia, anxiety, depression. We as doctors are trained to make our patients our first concern. Showing any signs of mental illness or indeed having any illness is seen personally and professionally as being letting the side down. The levels of trauma, grief, helplessness, and hopelessness are high. A friend and colleague of mine, an intensivist, cried as she told me that she has lost more patients in the last 6 months than she has done in 6 years in her unit in this hospital. What she is experiencing is moral distress or moral injury. Safeguarding mental health is both morally imperative and as well as vital for sustaining a workable and effective healthcare system at this critical time. Providing healthcare staff with psychological PPE is as important as physical masks and gowns. While talking with colleagues over the past several months, I've repeatedly detected a kind of Bayesian fatigue, a stress-induced dysphoria that is experienced when the corpus of knowledge that one has acquired over the years or decades becomes less important than the information that's being gathered from disparate sources in real time. This constant revision affects not only our clinical work, but our personal lives as well. We are asked by our family, our friends, questions to which we have no definite answers. Yet we need to be calm, collected, and safe. If I stay safe, they all do. We need to look beyond the Greek titan Atlas, carrying the burden of the world on his shoulders. We have to find our own avatar Varaha to retrieve the earth from the ocean, lifting it on his tasks and restore Bhudevi to her place in the universe. To me, the lessons learned are to be fearless and resilient, focused and adaptive, disciplined and confident. Gavaskar conquered it with his indomitable will. We too will conquer with our collective wills. Sometime down the line, we will tell our future generations how well we managed the bowling and the conditions, just as he does today while he is on air.